So, welcome all. Uh, Today, we will see the Unit 7 Processing Contaminants. So, in this chapter, we will learn about the indirect contaminants and cross contaminations. So, under indirect contaminants, the contaminants which are happen during the packaging, storage, and transport processings, and also we will see the cleaners and the sanitizers used in the food industry. So, first, we will see a few terms like contaminations and cross contaminations, which is a very important for this chapter. So, as we know, the contamination is the term that is we are hearing in the last few classes also. As we know, what is the contamination is mean for? It is nothing. It is an undesired introduction of impurities of a chemical or microbiological nature or of any foreign matter into or onto raw material. It may happen in the intermediate processing time or during the production, sampling, packaging or repackaging, storage or transport. So that is what we call contamination. Now cross contamination is a combination of a starting material, an intermediate product or a finished product with another starting material or product during production. So the contamination and the cross contamination are almost all same process are taking place, but in the cross contamination it is the contamination is taking place between the raw material and ready to eat food. The first contamination is that is normally used in the various stages of the food processing. So these are the various types of contaminations. We have learned these different types of contamination in the very first chapter of this paper also. So the physical contamination is, as we know, the physical substances such as paper, glass, hair, plastic, rodents, droppings of animals, etc. Then chemical contamination is mainly due to the pesticidal residues. And many other food additives and chemicals that is used for the clinical cleaning process, such things. Next is biological is mainly due to the microbial organisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, parasites. And the biological contamination is normally it is occur due to the ignorance, a lack of space or poor building designing. That may also occur when the food handlers take a shortcut or do not practice a proper hygiene method. So these are the different types of contaminations. Now we will see what are the different sources that involved in the food contamination process. So the first is the external raw food contamination due to the environmental contamination. And the external raw food contaminations, that is the contamination, the chances of contamination is there when we collect the raw material from the external environment. Next is transport of raw materials to the factory where they will be processed. If the proper method is not followed during the transportation of the raw materials, the contamination may occur here also. Now food condition, which involves the storage of raw materials, preheating, disinfection, cleaning and sterilization steps. So here also the chances of contaminations will occur. Next, heating steps, either by boiling, cooking, baking, frying or combining with other ingredients at high temperature on an oven or in a reactor. So if the proper heating is not take place, sometimes some undesirable chemical substances will be formed during that of heating process. Next is food packaging, transport of packaged food, storage and distribution of packaged food. So those are the things we are going to see detailed in the coming slide. The first one is processing contaminants or contamination that due to the heating process. So it's nothing. Normally the contaminants which is formed during the heating process, such as baking, frying, grilling or a barbecue. So sometimes such processing will be creating some undesired consequences. So beside the loss of some nutrients, some harmful byproducts can also be developed. Such harmful byproducts include acrylamide, furans or polyaromatic hydrocarbons or PAH, nitrosamines that can be formed in the food during this processing. Next is contaminants during package. Normally, the food package is very important. That helps to protect a product when it is stored and transport. But this packaging process make use of several additives such as stabilizers, antioxidants, plasticizer, and slipping agents that is mainly used for improving the packaging material properties. So, but sometimes when this food is come into contact, come in direct or indirect contact with this food, what happen is the packaging materials that it will be sometimes mixed with the food substances, and that phenomena is what we call is called migration. Few examples like in the case of a metals that is normally used for packaging materials. In canning process, we know the metals, metal type or tin type packaging is here. Sometimes this metal that used for the packaging material that suffer corrosion, that is mainly due to the chemical or electrochemical reaction within the environment. Now, not only the metals, there are different types of materials are used for the packaging process, like a printed paper board, cartons, rigid plastic containers, then glass jars or containers. So here that a printing ink, the printed ink, sometimes this printed ink will be come into contact with that of the food substances. Then sometimes the plastic containers, when it is stored for a long time, and what happened is some chemical reactions will be taking place between this plastic container and the food which is inside. And also sometimes the glass jars or containers, the broken, if it comes during the transportation time, if it is not properly handled, the glass jars, some crackers will be occurs, and sometimes that will causes many hazards also. So to protect the consumer concerned about the health and food safety, the different countries, they have established regulation that outline the acceptable limits of the container. So in different types of containers there is an acceptable limit which can be used for the packaging purpose. Now next is contamination during food transport. So transporting the food and commodities that requires multiple steps between the point of origin and point of use. So it also involves different modes of conveyance via air, land, railroad and water. So the food contamination can also take place during the transportations. So these are the few types of contaminations occurs. The first one is lack of security, then improper holding practices for food products awaiting shipment or inspection, improper temperature control. Different foods should be stored in different type of temperature. The perishable and non-perishable food should be stored. We need to keep those food in a particular temperature during the transportation time. So if the proper temperature is not maintained, what happened here is definitely some damage will causes to the food. Next, the cross contamination. That is the cross contamination we will see in detail in the coming slides. And also improper loading practices, conditions or equipment. So the transportation is very important, because before the transport and after the transportation, the vehicle should be well cleaned, and we must assure about the various storage equipments that keep in the that vehicle should working in properly. So proper cleaning is very important, and so such factors we need to be concerned while the transportation of food is taken place. Now the contaminants during storage. Effective storage, that is essential to extend the shelf life of the food. Organoleptic changes that should not occur during the food storage, and therefore packaging materials used for long-term storage should exhibit very good barrier properties. If the proper storage is not taking place, actually some organoleptic changes will be occurs, like it's a flavor or taste some changes will occur. Then moisture can lead to the breakdown of some packaging materials, for example like a paper degradation and metal rusting. Then direct sunlight that can speed deterioration both on the food and on the packaging. So when the that will happen during the transportation time also. Then the absorption of unwanted off odors is also a common phenomena in food storage. Then high fatty foods are prone to odor contamination. Food contamination that depends on the food type under consideration. The dry food and canned food that have a long shelf life but color, flavor, nutritive value that will be deteriorate over time. Then freezer storage and refrigerator that is necessary for the perishable items like meat, fish, egg, dairy products, etc. Under these conditions, the food contamination by chemical or physical interaction will be minimized. If we properly storage, what happened that the chemical or physical interactions that can be minimized. So these are the various pictures has shown like improper packing and washing, then improper transport. So you may see here the food the packaging is not properly done. It is a very careless packaging, so there is a chance of contamination is there. Now the leaf breakage and crushing, then fruit cracking and rotting. So these are the different problems we have found during this food processing, different stages of the food processing. Now next is contamination by cleaning process. So cleaning and disinfecting during food processing eliminate the presence of possible microorganisms, and therefore they are crucial to reduce food contamination. So normally the chemicals that used as a cleaners or a disinfect that must be appropriate for food contact surfaces and need to be accepted by the legislation. Products such as glass cleaners or some metal cleaners that can be used because they might leave surface residues. So for the cleaning the food related items, some acceptable cleaners and disinfectants are there, only they can be used. So we can't use any type of cleaners or like glass or metal cleaners. It is not allowed for the food areas. Okay. The addition of sanitizers in quantities far above permitted levels that could leave some residual concentration on treated materials or food even in minimum processed fruits and vegetables, and therefore to quantify the residual chemicals present in the food is important in order to certify that they have been completely removed. So for treating certain materials or a food, actually there is some minimum or acceptable level is already given. So that is very important for getting the certification of the safe consumption of that foods. Then some common surfactants are quaternary ammonium compounds such as dodecyl trimethyl ammonium chloride and non-ionic surfactants such as stearyl alcoholic ethoxylate. So these are the different types of surfactants used for the cleaning process and all. So next is cleaners and sanitizers. Cleaning uses soap and water while sanitizing uses chemicals or heat to kill germs. So the cleaners and the sanitizers are different. Cleaning is normally we have done with the help of a soap and water. At the same time the sanitizers are purely chemicals. The surface that look clean can still have germs. That is very important. Then while we are cleaning the surfaces, but it is not sure that the surface is free from germs. So that's why we are done the sanitizing method. The sanitizing that helps to reduce the germs level to a safer level. Food contact surface that should be washed, rinsed and sanitized between each use. Then follow the label directions on chemical sanitizers and never add soap to sanitizer. That is very important. If you are washing dishes by hand, use 3-sink method. That is, the 3 different sink will be connected in a single unit. So the first one is used for the wash, rinse. So first one is for the wash, then rinse, and last one is for the sanitizing the dish. So that is what we mean by the 3-sink method. Then we need to store the bowls or plates in upside down, and we need to store the utensils and dishes at least 6 inches off the ground, and never touch a part of a dish or utensils that a guest mouth might touch. So that's all. After the cleaning of that utensils, we should never touch the part of any dish or utensils, there is a chance of guest mouth might touch. So next is, what is cross contamination? Cross contamination, we have seen the definition of cross contamination. It is nothing, it's a transfer of a bacteria between the raw meat and ready to eat foods. So the cross contamination, that is the transfer of harmful bacteria to food from other foods, cutting boards, utensils, etc. if they are not handled properly. And this is especially true when handling raw meat, poultry and seafood. So keep these foods and their juices away from already cooked food or ready to eat food and fresh produce. So that is what we call cross contamination. So this is the different stages where the cross contamination may happen. So it starts from the raw material, then processing air contaminations may be chance during the packaging time. The cross contamination may occur. The rework, shared equipments, cleaning, supply chain, storage, transport, and it goes like this. The cross contamination may take place at any stages of the food processing method if it is not handled properly. Now we will see how does this cross contamination occurs. So that may occur due to the poor personal hygiene, the raw food in contact with ready to eat foods, contact with the contaminated surfaces, improper storage practices, then contact with the food service workers, then contamination from consumers. So these are the different way the cross contamination normally occurs. Now how we can avoid the cross contamination? So there are few methods has been listed out how we can avoid the cross contamination. The first thing is we need to separate the meat and vegetables in proper way. Then we should always wash our hands after handling the raw meat. Then we should use separate cutting boards for the meat and vegetables. And store raw food below ready to eat foods. And store food with a lower cooking temperature like beef, fish. And also store food with a below cooking temperature like chicken. Different food have a different temperature for its storage. So that is very important. We should definitely store that particular foods, especially the non-veg foods, in the right temperature for avoiding such contaminations. So finally, we can conclude our chapter by saying that good food handling practices are the most important aspects of good hygiene, and it helps to be protected from the attack of food poison. So that's all for the today. So if you have any doubts, please do ask in WhatsApp or in the comment box in Google Class. So I'm just winding up today's session. Thank you.